Hi, I'm Brian Trenchard-Smith. This is Trailers from Hell. When my school film society was granted a visit to Pinewood Studios, Dr. No, the first James Bond movie, was shooting pickups. We watched several takes of a sleeping Sean Connery waking up gun in hand on a 10-foot square patch of Jamaican beach in the middle of an empty soundstage. We went on to tour all the other sets, and I can tell you that production designer Ken Adams' spectacular nuclear reactor was a lot smaller than it looks on the screen. That opened my eyes to the power of lenses when I saw the finished movie a year later. The producers, Harry Saltzman and Cubby Broccoli, made an initial deal with United Artists for 6 Bond movies, budget dependent upon casting. Cary Grant got the first offer, but he would only do one and also felt he was too old for the part. Grant's performance in Charade 2 years later could give you an idea of how he might have played Bond. The story of Sean Connery winning a contest for the role is apocryphal. There was such a contest, but Connery never entered. It was Bond film editor and later director Peter Hunt who brought Sean Connery to the producer's attention, because he had just cut a modestly budgeted comedy called On the Fiddle, co-starring Connery. It was retitled Operation Snafu in the US 4 years later, after Bond made Connery a star. The 30-year-old Scotsman's audition displayed the raw masculinity they wanted for Bond. Getting a director was similarly problematic. The 3 hottest British directors of the day, Brian Forbes, Ken Hughes and Guy Hamilton, all turned the picture down. In the end, the producers selected Terence Young, who had demonstrated a flair for action scenes when he directed The Red Beret, US title Paratrooper, for Cubby Broccoli 8 years before. He was also an experienced writer with his own vision for the Bond movies. The Bond of the books was a serious man, the inheritor in the Cold War of the 50s of the mantle of Richard Hannay or Bulldog Drummond. Terence Young said the screen Bond needed more humour and charm for audiences to engage with him. Luckily, the producers followed Young's lead. Coming up is a slightly worn copy of the tongue-in-cheek American trailer. It's a gem. I suggest you look at it first without commentary, then come back to me. This trailer might well have been written and narrated by Terence Young himself. It totally captures Young's wry approach to Bond, yet reassures the fan base of the Bond books they would see a Bond on the screen they recognized in all the details. Sean Connery has acknowledged it was Terence Young who showed him how to be Bond, because Young was in many respects the character Ian Fleming had written: Savile Row suits, fast cars, champagne tastes, an adventurer with total savoir-faire. Young had also been a tank commander in World War II. Excellent training for the film industry. He knew what it was like to be under fire. The signature opening was created by legendary title artist Maurice Binder, who actually shot the inside of a .38 caliber gun barrel with a pinhole camera on sepia stock. Because there was an unknown in the lead, United Artists hedged their bets and pegged the budget at $1 million. It's a tribute to Terence Young's skills as a director that the movie looks as big and as rich as it does. Most of the film was shot in Jamaica, some of it within yards of Ian Fleming's GoldenEye estate. Fleming often brought friends to the set, though he did not approve of the choice of Connery and never thought the Bond movies did justice to his novels. Terence Young handled the politics with dexterity, working in a calm, authoritative manner. His daughter states there were rarely any notes in his scripts, he didn't prepare shot lists, he had the whole film in his head every day. Bond's rampant promiscuity, although discreetly portrayed, was perfectly timed for the swinging 60s sexual revolution. A few years earlier, no studio would have greenlit a movie in which the hero beds a woman he knows is arranging his murder, then has her arrested. The choice of Bond's girls became a surefire publicity bandwagon with each new movie. Ursula Andress was paid a mere $6,000 for her iconic role. Her Swiss-accented voice was replaced by another actress, but her career was made. The British censor took exception to this controversial scene of Bond shooting a disarmed man twice. In fact, Young filmed Connery pumping 4 more bullets into the prone man's back to pay off the "You've had your 6" line. After a face-to-face meeting between Young and the chief censor, with Young arguing a wartime justification, the 2-bullet version was allowed. For the key role of evil mastermind Dr. No, Ian Fleming wanted his friend, famous actor, playwright Noel Coward. He sent him an offer and received a 3-word cable in reply: no, no, no. Joseph Wiseman was a good choice, underplaying his dialogue with glacial delivery that enhances his menace. In Japan, the film was initially titled No Need of a Doctor, because the publicity materials erroneously featured a question mark between the words doctor and no. Although the film went $100,000 over its $1 million budget, United Artists were well rewarded for their investment. Dr. No grossed $16 million in the US, $59 million worldwide. Terence Young directed 2 more Bonds, setting the style and the tone for the most successful movie franchise in history.